Shalom, shalom. Um, we are back continuing with our Omer count. Um, we are now dealing with day 8, where we're dealing with week 2, day 1, the 8th day of the Omer count. This whole week, we'll be dealing with Gavora, which in the Hebrew gives you the idea of strength, power, and might. When you think about Gavora, it's sometimes spoken of Gavora in regards to the fact that the Most High, who is, described as, being the endless light, right? The Most High, Father Yahweh, is the endless light. And in order to deal with, say, for instance, Moses, right? When he dealt with Moses, he could not, give his unadulterated self. He could not express his unadulterated glory to Moses, because, of course, it would have killed him. Right? No man has seen the Father and lived. Right? So what had to happen was he had to use then his might to hold back his goodness. Right? He had to use his might, his gavora, to hold back his goodness. Right? So the ability to hold back your full strength, right? We call that restraint, right? We call that restraint. So when we think about restraint, that is a form of power and might. You're just using enough to get the job done, right? That takes power, right? That takes gavora. So when you think about this word gavora, you also get the idea of restraint. When you think about this word gavora, you can also get the idea of discretion, right? Knowing when to do this or that, discretion, right? When you think about restraint, or if I'm restraining something, I'm keeping something from going past a certain limit. So when I think about restraint, in the idea of keeping something back from going beyond a certain limit, I can think about the idea of discipline. So there's all these aspects of Givora that we'll be dealing with in this week. But this week, today, I should say, we're dealing with the loving kindness in restraint, the loving kindness in discipline, the chesed shebe gavora. So when you think about discipline, we think about that restraint and loving kindness in discipline, in holding back, creating those boundaries, whether it be punitive or otherwise, right? We think about discipline, right? Your love for people, because we combine this again with loving kindness, your love for people includes wanting the best for them, right? And you want for your loved one to be able to be the best that they can be. um, which would include helping them be aware of the times when they're less than what they can be, right? Helping them be aware when they're not reaching their full potential, right? And we have, if you have a close enough relationship with an individual, there can literally be discipline involved, right? But when we're talking about discipline mixed with loving kindness, we're not talking about wrath. We're not talking about, intentionally bringing pain upon people, because again, we're combining this thing with loving kindness. My intention is for correction to be brought, right? My intention is for you to actually uh, get to the place where I know that you can get to. The getting to the place of you experiencing your full potential, right? And when I'm uh, putting forth that Gavora, that in loving kindness, right? I'm putting my strength on you. I'm putting my power and might on you in a way that's pulling you back, right? You're moving off a little to the left or the right, and I'm putting my strength on you and pulling you back. I'm getting you back into focus, right? For my loved ones, right? You do this the most for your family and your children, right? As a parent. But, we are kind of privileged enough, some of us, to have individuals, adults who are not your children, who you have that relationship with, that you're able to exhibit this idea of loving kindness, and Gavora mixed together, right? So again, when we think about this idea of discipline, of course, Yahweh says he chastises his children, right? Out of love, out of loving kindness, right? So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, get us going in the direction of Gevura. We'll be talking more about restraint and discretion and temperance and discipline as the week goes on. But, this first day of this second week, we're dealing with that restraint, that discipline, that use of force and might, coupled with loving kindness, right? Coupled with that right intention and that right motivation. Okay, so I guess that's it for now. We will, Yah willing, be back on tomorrow to deal with, to continue on uh, this trek to 50 days. Okay, shalom.